Hey guys, welcome back to our channel.
Oh!
What was that? 2 weeks ago we made a video where Joseph was talking about the problems that come with dating a German.
With dating him, specifically.
Well, today we're gonna... Are you okay?
I have allergies, dude.
Today we're gonna turn it around and I'm gonna tell you all the problems that come with dating a Mexican. More precisely, this specific one here.
I'm so scared of this video. I'm gonna get offended big time. But I know you love me and I know you secretly love all of those things about me.
You think so?
I'm pretty sure.
Not all of them.
How dare you, dude?
Because like I said last time, I have a lot to say. Before we start, I want to mention one important thing. I love you guys. I love Mexicans. I love this one specifically. Mexico is a very diverse country and so are the people.
Yes, that's very true. We come in every shape, color, form and personality.
So we don't want to generalize anything. We're not claiming that every Mexican does those things. When we say problems, these things are not bad. We mean that it was problematic for me as a foreigner because it was something new and I had to get used to it. And not because I'm a weirdo. Just like in the last video, I'm gonna start with the most obvious problem. You have to learn Spanish. And even if your partner knows English, like she does, the parents probably don't.
That's true. There's a lot of people in Mexico that speak English, or at least they know the basics, but they're so scared of speaking because of their accent or something.
This problem gets even bigger when you think about how big families are in Mexico. And that's the next problem. You're gonna meet a lot of people. Whenever you meet your boyfriend or girlfriend in Mexico, and it's Christmas, New Year, Independence Day.
A wedding.
A wedding. They're like weddings every month.
Yeah, that's true.
Be prepared to meet around 100 or 200 people in one day.
That are part of the family.
That are only part of the family, not even friends.
I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but in my family, my grandparents from my mom's side had 11 children.
The first time that I went to Mexico, it was for Christmas. I had to meet literally everybody from her family. I probably know 4 names of her entire family.
Don't get overwhelmed, guys. Just say hi and act like you know everybody.
With the next point, we're gonna arrive at a very important part of Mexico, the food. You will gain weight. And this is due to 2 things. First of all, Mexican moms, they love to make you eat. And they give you a lot of food. And even when you're done, they ask you, are you still hungry? Have this.
Yes.
And also on top of that, it's hard to say no. Because Mexican food is super delicious.
Yes. Oh my god, I miss it so much.
Oh my god, look at her.
Please send me enchiladas potosinas, por favor.
For me too, please.
Yeah, another reason why you're gonna get fat because of the food is because it's very cheap compared to Germany.
True. Let's go to the next point.
Yes.
Now in the last video, just mentioned that Germans are usually on time.
Yes.
And that was a problem for her because she was not used to that.
Yeah.
For me, it's the other way around because she tends to be late all the time.
Yes, but you too, sometimes.
I'm actually also late.
Yeah.
I'm like Mexican.
You're half Mexican. That's actually a stereotype that I hate. I hate when people tell me, you're gonna be late because you're Mexican. But I'm late all the time.
She is late all the time.
Like even when I try my best. This is something I've struggled with forever.
Forever. The next point that I had to get used to a lot, you might get scared while driving. I don't want to drive in Mexico. And even when your partner, in this case, she is driving in Mexico, you feel like, where are the rules? Where are the lines on the ground that tell you in which lane you have to go?
And the holes, dude. Oh my god, there is one street I have to take every time to go to my house. It has so many holes, I learned them by heart. I'm like...
When you get to an intersection, there is not really a rule that says who can go first. Yes. There are also no signs. You always tell me the one in the biggest street can go first. But for some reason, all the Mexicans know where to drive.
It's common sense, bro.
It was the worst in Mexico City. There was one super busy street and we were coming from a small street. And all the people from that small street were just going like this around all the other cars.
In Mexico City, dude, I saw my life pass through my head for real like 7 times. And the drivers of the Ubers were like, yeah, what's up, bro? And how's the weather today? Talking to us?
In the end, it's actually pretty impressive because Mexicans really know how to drive in crazy situations. Okay, the next point is a funny one, but also a sad one. Sometimes 4 squares of toilet paper is all that you'll get.
Where did you experience that?
Seriously, we were in a market in Mexico City and I wanted to go to the toilet And this guy in front literally gave me 4 squares of toilet paper. Here, do your thing. And I was like, I don't know if that's enough.
You knew that wasn't
No.
enough.
And I told him, can I have another one?
I didn't know this was a problem for you.
I mean, in Germany, you can find toilet paper right next to the toilet.
Yeah, but in Mexico too.
Okay, that doesn't happen often, I have to say.
It's not often.
This happened
dude.
like twice to me.
He's overreacting already. When I was in primary school,
Uh-huh.
there was a woman giving the paper.
Oh yeah, you told me that
On the
before.
toilet, dude. She would ask you, number 1 or number 2? At the entrance. And if you say 1, she gives you 1 square.
Uh-huh.
And if you say 2, she would give you 2 or 3.
Great. On the other side, that's a good thing because it's environment friendly.
You're not using more than you need?
So, good for you guys. Now we get into the real stuff.
Oh no, onto the real. I don't want real stuff.
This problem comes up even before you start dating. Mexicans are very touchy. For us foreigners, that might be a problem because we might think, oh my god, she is flirting with me. Or for a girl, he's flirting with me. But no, this is just how they are. They're like this.
That's
like
true.
this. So don't get your hopes up.
Oh my god. I don't know, dude. It's crazy. I'm so unaware of my body when I'm talking to someone. When I first moved to Germany, I met a girl at university.
Uh-huh.
And we were friends, but we were just starting to be friends. And one time we were waiting for a bus. And I was like, oh, I'm so tired. And I did this to like lay on her shoulder.
Uh-huh.
And she moved her thing very, very like slowly. And my head fell literally like this.
Of course, guys, I'm not saying that every Mexican is touchy. Let us know in the comments what you think. The next problem is one that mostly foreigner guys might experience. Because Mexican girls can be very competitive. Or in other words, kind of jealous.
Oh.
I'm not saying that every Mexican girl is jealous. There are obviously girls that are not jealous at all. What I've experienced with her in the beginning and with her friends when they talk about stuff, they can get furious.
God, my friends are gonna hate you next time that you come to Mexico.
They are very like, this guy is mine and I'm not letting him go out. Well, that's a little bit too much, guys, but...
Should I remind you of yesterday when we were walking on the street in Germany? A guy stared at me and you literally stared at him back like this
True.
for like 5 minutes until he stopped staring at me. But you're totally right in that regard. When I started dating you, I noticed that my perception of love was completely twisted because of what I was surrounded by.
But now she changed completely. She's super not jealous anymore,
I don't care anymore.
which is a little bit sad because it was fun to watch.
Dude, character development. I'm totally like...
Great. You're like...
And when I started dating you, I was like, wow, a whole new world.
Okay.
I have a theory though, and I know this is gonna maybe sound crazy, but hear me out. I feel like a lot of this thinking is shaped because of telenovelas. Don't come for me. Have you seen a Mexican telenovela?
No.
The women are so dramatic and they're so jealous and they're so like, he's mine and she's never gonna take him away from me.
Why is this girl staring at you?
This stupid footnote, guys can also be very jealous, so it's not only girls. Just saying, don't come for us.
The next point is something that I had to get used to, and I still have to get used to because it's still the same. It will never change.
What?
Mexicans show their emotions very, very strongly. It has a good side and a bad side. The Mexicans really show you how much they love you. They're very affectionate. She tells me she loves me like 20 times a day.
And Janik just says,
It's like...
same.
When you're fighting, the emotions come out.
And these emotions are not pretty.
Without a filter.
Okay, in my defense, I have nothing to defend. But I have to say, I love this about Mexicans. As a foreigner, if you date a Mexican, I feel like there's a very high chance you have never experienced anything like that before. Like this amount of love. So it really changes your perspective also about love. I think your perspective completely changed.
Yeah. The loving side is bigger than anything else.
Yes, corazón, yes.
See? That's what I mean. Now we get to a very interesting point, and I call it the gentleman dilemma. The thing is that in Mexico, a lot of guys do very gentlemanly
Gentlemanly
things. For example, they buy flowers, they pick them up at their house. They open the doors and all that stuff.
Ah, those were the days.
You're so dumb.
So when a Mexican girl is dating a German, she's kind of expecting the same because she doesn't know that it's different. So the German guy has to step up his game like times 1,000 to make her feel loved, because in her mind, this is how love looks like.
And then I come along, and I'm the total opposite. It's basically just a cultural difference, and you just have to meet in the middle, I would say.
Yes.
Now, if you're a girl from another country and you're dating a Mexican guy, that might be super cool for you. Because he's just picking you up, he brings you roses.
And you're like, what is this?
In the end of the day, it helped both of us because now I'm more romantic.
And I'm more cold-hearted.
And that's also a plus.
No, I lowered my expectations with you. No big time though.
That makes it so much better.
Expectations are the mother of disappointment.
True.
And resentment.
Now we get to the last point of this video. And that's a very difficult one. It has roots in the old traditions of Mexicans or Europeans, religion even. As a foreigner, you cannot expect sleepovers. And that's a thing that I had to deal with a lot in the beginning. Like, it was super difficult for me to understand why am I not able to stay in the same room as my girlfriend. In Germany, guys can stay at the girlfriend's house or girls can stay at the boyfriend's house. Even when they're less than 18, probably 16, they can stay at the girlfriend's or boyfriend's house.
Sinners!
Sinners. And in Mexico,
They think the worst of people.
Yeah.
They're like, they are doing some very bad stuff there that they cannot do anywhere else. One of the most recurrent messages I get from couples is girls that are desperately asking me, how did you make Janik understand that he cannot stay? Or how can I make my parents understand? Or, you know?
it's so difficult.
It's so difficult for us too.
Yeah, for both sides.
Because at the beginning you couldn't understand it.
No.
You were like, I don't get it.
I was 22 or 23 years old when we started dating. And I was like, I'm so old.
Yeah,
And
me
I
too.
cannot stay in the same room as her.
And my sister is even older, and her
yeah.
boyfriend couldn't stay there.
I'm an adult.
I don't get it either. But it's just how life works in Mexico. We don't want to get deep into it. But if you have a girlfriend from Mexico and you're having this issue, just believe her when she says this is how it works everywhere too.
You might not be able to understand why, but you just have to accept it. I accept it, I respect it whenever I'm in Mexico.
Or if you like it, then you should put a ring on it.
Everything changes. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Once the ring is on that finger, you're like free to go.
And also this might be more a problem of like smaller cities like San Luis Potosí, where everything's like a double moral.
San Luis Potosí is not that small.
No, but like compared to Mexico City, I don't know if it works differently there. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, guys, we're super curious to see what you guys have to say about this.
And how does it work wherever you're from?
These were the things that I had to get used to in the beginning of us dating. Obviously, love is stronger than all of these problems together.
And there are so many more good things that come when you date a Mexican or a German.
Yeah, and that list is way longer. So if you want to see a video about that, please let us know in the comments down below.
And if you're just starting a relationship with a Mexican or with a German, hang in there.
Talk about things, communicate, meet in the middle.
So we hope you like this video. If you like it, give us a thumbs up.
Subscribe to our channel if you're not already.
And we'll see you next week.
Adios muchachos.
Cheers!